right, well, welcome back to Between Two Gavels. As always, I'm David Michael Hahn. I have a special guest here today. His name is Robert Nassau. Many of you probably have seen him swagging around the halls, but here he is with me. I thought I'd make a short video, kind of in the interim between episodes. Got a lot of stuff going on. Scheduling's difficult. I'm going to a tax law competition soon, which, as many of you know, he teaches tax, so he's probably happy to hear about that. But welcome. How are you?
Nice to see you. Thanks for inviting me onto the show.
You've wanted to be the star for a while now.
I have.
You've emailed me multiple times saying...
I think this is episode 4.
This is 4. You're in episode 2.
Okay, right. And very briefly, though.
Very briefly, but you emailed me...
I was the star.
You emailed me back saying that he was the star.
I think everyone would agree with that.
I would agree with that. Right. So I thought I'd bring you on here. You're the associate director of the clinics here, which we're going to get into a little bit about that, but I wanted people to kind of meet you first. So I'm under the impression that I've been told that in undergrad you studied Japanese studies.
Japanese studies.
Because you thought you were going to move to Japan. That's what I've heard.
I had lived in Japan.
Okay.
I had lived in Japan for a year before college, and I lived in Japan for a year during college. I thought someday I was going to be the shogun of all of Japan, or maybe the emperor, one of those.
Right.
But one thing led to another, and my son is actually living in Japan now as an English teacher.
Interesting.
So I am planning to go see him after the semester.
Okay.
I will not have been in Japan since 1980.
Wow.
I'm sure everyone there is looking forward to my return. I think it'll probably be bigger even than this event.
Probably true. We'll have to make a video about it. I'll follow you around. But then you were at Yale for undergrad where you golfed.
Right.
On the team, which you told me a little bit about earlier, but so clearly you're a pretty avid golfer.
I am a very avid golfer. Not crazy avid, but pretty avid. It was good to be in college back then because nobody cared about the golf team. You could be decent and get a varsity letter in golf. If I were in school now, I would be the caddy.
Interesting.
Right. They've gone very serious in their golf program. And,
wow.
Yeah, I was there at the right time.
There you go. And then you went to Harvard Law School. And so I was curious if there was anyone that you went to school with who are like, I don't know, Supreme Court Justice now, or anyone cool that you knew or met.
Not really. I think there are a couple people perhaps from my year who might be congressmen, because I get letters asking for money from these people I didn't know. It's like, I think my year there were 550 people graduating. Wow. It's a big school.
Sure.
So I think there are a couple congressmen. I guess I was there before Obama. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, and as you know well, and I'm kind of counting on you now, I want somebody to have some power who can appoint me to something high compensation, low work.
Okay.
Right.
So we have a few years because there's some statutory things. I'm still pretty young.
I'm looking.
But I think by then you'll be ready to retire and have the high compensation,
low responsibility,
and we can golf a lot.
That would be great.
Okay, and we'll take
some kind of ambassadorship
with Japan or something.
That's real work.
Oh,
yeah. You see, I might be qualified for that, or at least I have some connection to Japan. But that's a serious. Yeah, I don't want that. Okay. I want something like I don't know, Turks and Caicos.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll find you something.
Okay, thank you.
So, tell me a little bit about the clinics and what the clinics really do. And
we have a great clinical program here at SU. We have 9 clinics. We also have externships, which I'm not as much involved with, but we have 9 clinics. Pretty much any area of law that appeals to somebody: tax, criminal, family law, business law, securities law. So you can come and do a clinic and get real-life, hands-on experience. My mantra, which is more true than untrue, is I want to do as little as possible. I want you, and you're in the tax clinic.
I'm in the tax clinic.
Perhaps the star so far is what I can tell.
It's on video now.
So it's a great opportunity to put into practice what you've been learning in the classroom. And I encourage people to apply. Again, the applications are going live on Thursday, February 11th. And they're due on Tuesday the 16th. And by the end of next week, you'll have a placement or not. Again, not all 2Ls are going to get a placement, but keep applying. Great opportunities. And
who's it all open to?
It's open to 2Ls and 3Ls.
Going in to be 2Ls and 3Ls.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And 3 of the clinics are the whole academic year, and 6 are semester long.
Right.
So if you don't get into a clinic for fall of 16 or academic year, you can apply again for spring of 17 or the following year. Given our smaller class size, I would venture to say that anyone who wants to do a clinic will get, well, I can say definitively, if you want to do a clinic, you'll get into a clinic. The most popular clinic you'd think would be the tax clinic.
That was my opinion.
But it's not. I think it's the criminal clinic. So that one might, every so often someone doesn't get to do it, but that's rare. So just keep applying. You'll get in, help people, learn stuff. It's more fun than, well, you've sat in a couple of my classes, and they're boring. Like, you don't want to be in
tax classes. Those are the best.
Oh, thank you.
Too bad it's anonymous grading for that, but anyway, but no, I will vouch that it is a really good experience. You talk with clients. It's, for me, for someone who never really envisioned myself being a lawyer in the traditional sense, it's good because I kind of am a lawyer more in the traditional sense, and
absolutely,
you're calling the clients, you're calling the people, you're making things happen for them. So it is very cool. But yeah,
right. And every clinic director works pretty much the same. They want the students to have maximum responsibility, maximum opportunity to learn and practice. People go into court all the time. I mean, in our case, you're talking to the IRS all the time.
Right.
It's great. People should do them.
So check I think it'll be on My Law, I assume.
Yes, I think that the applications are online.
So check it out. Anything else you want to say before I let you go? And
I'll put in a little picture. We also have an externship program. Okay. So if you don't want a sort of in-house clinic experience, there are dozens of off-site externship opportunities. Those are full year, and I think that process kicks in right after the clinics are resolved. So you can go work for a judge or work for the DA, work for Syracuse City Council, and that's another great opportunity.
Sure. I have a lot of friends that have done it, and they've really enjoyed it. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
All right. It was a great treat.
I'm sure we'll see you often now that when I'm getting the most views on this episode, and everyone says we want more.
That's true. I may have to send it to my fans, and
that's
that'll
true.
Definitely kick up the
numbers.
Views.
And
Adele's got to watch her ass, I think.
Whoa!
Oh, we better edit. Watch her back. Watch her back.
I'll have to censor that.
You're gonna have to edit that. You're gonna get so many views on this that whatever that song was, I don't even remember anymore.
No one does.
This is gonna beat that.
Right. Cool. Well, thank you very much.
All right. My pleasure. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Do a clinic.
City Dave Productions.